really early. We were up at 4:40 and headed in the woods by 5. I heard my first shot at 6:57 a.m. It's about 9:30. Didn't see any deer, but I am a little upset. At about 8 o'clock, I hear tons of noise through the pines. So I get ready, and all of a sudden a hunter comes walking out. He's wearing camo pants, and he's wearing a black shirt. He's not wearing any orange. We're on public land. If you see this video, man, we're orange. You're gonna get yourself hurt, and it's not worth it. But Stevie's walking to me now. He's about 200 yards away. I told him to walk slow in case he bumps something to me or he bumps something up. We're gonna pull the camera we had sitting here. We're gonna head back to the truck. Then we're gonna figure a game plan for tonight's hunt. So we ended up jumping over to English Hill. It's about 2 o'clock. When I got out of Palmer's Pond and I got to my car, I drove the road and there was 13 trucks I counted. Well, 13 vehicles. That spot's getting pretty pressured, but I didn't hear many shots. Probably 10 at the most. It's a beautiful night. It's about 40 degrees. Supposed to drop pretty good. And I'm excited. What do you got, a deer? Go Wood. But we pulled the camera too. So I'm excited to see what's on that camera. Let's see how tonight goes. Got a good feeling. But I always got a good feeling.
So we ended up going to Walmart to get some supplies to last us a few days. Now, I did see a couple deer at nighttime. It's about 3 of them. It was too dark to shoot them. Stevie must have kicked them up to me because they were moving. I couldn't even see them through the scope, so it was definitely too dark for me. Now, on the bright side, that piece of land where I'm always getting harassed at, the guy on the dirt bike, now, he was harassing somebody else today, and it ended up being a young kid. What he didn't know is his father was down at the other end. So as he was coming towards me, I stopped him and I spoke to him, and he said he was going to go have some words with the guy. So I was proud of that. So what I ended up doing, so there's no bad blood, I actually talked to the guy who owns that piece of property. The guy who harasses me, drives up and down the field with a dirt bike, he has absolutely nothing to do with it. He just thinks he owns that whole piece of state land. So the guy said it was cool if I walk the field, if I shoot a deer, it goes into that field. He was completely cool about the whole situation. He also hunts too, so he understands everything. But Woody got a deer. My buddy Clayton got a deer. My opening day, it was okay. I loved it. It's still hunting. But I'm going to continue to grind. I'm here all week. Something's bound to happen. Plus, I got 2 doe tags out here, so I'm going to be hunting hard.
Some snow on the ground. We got Stevie and Manny today. So let's hope something happens. It's beautiful. It's about 33 degrees outside. Really windy. It's definitely chilly. I'm wearing a heated vest. So I'm curious to see how it works out. I've been wearing it all summer. All hunting season. But never in temperatures this low. I'm pumped.
So right now it's about 9 o'clock. We're going to do a still hunt. We're going to walk and try to kick up some deer. I got me, Steve, and Manny with me. I'm just going to bring the GoPro, so if I get anything on footage, it'll be GoPro footage. But I got a feeling we'll kick something up here. See how it goes.
We ended up doing that drive yesterday, and I got upset again. I seen 2 hunters, younger kids, in full camouflage again. It's kind of like you ask all these people in New York who took these online courses, was that the right thing? Because they're not getting hands-on on being safe. Now, we ended up kicking up one deer. It was at the end. But there was something cool that happened. There's a theory floating around that if you find like a helium balloon in the woods, that the thermals pull the balloon there, and that's where bucks love to bed. And it was funny, I found a helium balloon, and right next to it, I found a rub. What's the chances? So you never know. But today I'm with Wood Dog. Just me and him. And we're hunting English Hill. Everything plays to our benefit today. The wind's blowing this way towards us. It's about 30 degrees. And it's calm. Wind ain't even blowing hard. You could hear some tractors in the background. But I don't think that's gonna affect anything. Let's get at it.
I don't know how good the audio is on this. I'm gonna give you an update. So right before dark, I shot a doe, and she ran across the field, and all we heard was crashing and moaning. We've been searching for blood for a while, and the only thing we found was a little small spot of flesh. It had bone in it too, but we can't find kick-ups or anything. So right now we're just grid searching, hoping we find her. Wish we would have found her right away, but this stuff happens. So last night I ended up shooting a doe. There was actually 4 of them in a group. They were coming right at me, and it was about 120 yards away. One stopped and gave me a perfect shot right at her chest. They were going into the field. So I settled in, put it right on her. Boom. She ran across the field, and all you heard was her moaning like crazy. And then when she hit the wood line, tons of crashing and more moaning. So I called Woody, and we met up, and we looked where I shot him. Couldn't find any blood. So then we walked the field. Couldn't find any blood. So what we did after that is we walked a trail that was on the other side of the wood line, and we found a kick up, and there was actually a small piece of bone in there. Followed the trail and actually found another piece of bone. Both pieces of bone had blood all over it. Couldn't find a drop of blood anywhere. I aimed right at the middle of her chest. We looked all over. I ended up going there this morning too, after the morning hunt, and searched for 3 more hours. Couldn't find anything. I don't know what happened. I felt comfortable with the shot and everything. I don't know why there was no blood, but there was bone. Not a drop. Only reason why we were able to find where she was, the ground was wet and you could see her kick marks. But once she went into that, across the field into the woodlot, that's when we found the bones. After that, we couldn't find anything, because inside the woods it's drier than the field. I was shocked. I really thought I had one yesterday. But today, we did drives all day. Tried kicking deer up. Didn't see anything. Didn't kick anything up. Just got soaked. But it's still fun. Right now it's about 4:30, and I'm sitting on the edge of a field where me and my father both spotted a 10-pointer coming out of here one time. I just want to see if anything does come out. I don't feel like getting wet right now. We were soaked all day. And if we do see it, we got a plan for when we come back up Friday night. Because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We're going to get a morning hunt in. That's tradition. We always got to do that.
Right now it's about 7 o'clock. We've been in there for a good 40 minutes. It's Thanksgiving, hunting tradition. Me and Stevie are sitting in the spot I saved all year. It's where I shot the does last year. I fucked up because I coughed. Right now it's about 7 o'clock. We've been in here for about 40 minutes. Me and Stevie are sitting on the spot where I shot the does last year. I haven't hunted this at all. I saved it purposely for today. It's pouring out. I'm prepared to get soaked. It's about 40 degrees, 42 degrees out. I got a feeling today's gonna be the day. If not, who cares? We're hunting and we're doing what we love. And like I said, this is tradition. But it does feel weird not having my dad with me. We've been hunting Thanksgiving morning since I was 16. He just didn't feel like it this year. But let me shut up. Let's get hunting. So it's about 9:30 now. We didn't see anything. We didn't hear our first shots until about 8:30, and we didn't hear much for shots. But I got my buddy Tony and his nephew about 200 yards that way. So we're gonna walk the top of the ridge and then cut out towards the road to see if we can kick anything to them. Then I'm gonna drive by to see if my cousin's got anything, because they're on the other side of the road. Right now it's about 2 o'clock. It's Saturday night. It's pretty warm. I walked in here and I started kicking up the leaves at the bottom of my tree, so it's quiet when you move around. And I started hearing grunting. It was a soft grunt, but I heard it a couple times. I wonder if me kicking up the leaves on the ground made it think it was another deer over here. But on Thanksgiving, we didn't end up kicking any deer to my buddy. But my cousin Timmy shot a nice little buck on the state land, the one we were hunting. He wasn't far from us. And my buddy Josh, he actually shot a nice big doe last night. So we got today, and then we're gonna hunt tomorrow morning. But Stevie's about 300 yards to my right. He's actually sitting where I shot the doe the other day. So hopefully one of us gets something today. It's not windy, it's just a little warm. We need snow. It's horrible. We haven't had much snow. Usually you have a foot on the ground by now. But we'll sit tight and see what happens. It's better than sitting at home. I always say that.
So right now, it's Sunday. It's about 8 a.m. When that alarm went off, I was just so stressed out. I didn't even hunt. You guys ain't gonna believe what happened. So a few weeks ago, I hit a deer with my car. So I went and got a truck. And now this time a deer hits me, smacks the whole side of my car. It's sick to my stomach. I haven't even had the car for 2 weeks. I know shit happens, but I had my high beams on and everything. That deer came out of absolutely nowhere and just demolished the side of the truck. Hope it don't cost a lot to fix. So what I ended up doing is just cleaning up camp this morning, getting it all straightened up, nice and tidy, just in case I decide not to come up here for the rest of the year. Well, who knows what's going to happen.
Man, it was a fun morning. We did 4 drives. We ended up only kicking deer up on one. It slipped right through us. But on them drives this morning, I found tons of sign for next year. I actually found a really big rub. The thing was huge, and it went up to my belly button. But I remember scouting a few years ago and I knew where a buck was bedded. So we tried to bump him out on a drive. And I found his trail. I found tons of rubs on that trail. And I actually found in a secondary bed, which I believe we kicked him out of. There was tracks all around it that were fresh with mud kicked up, and it went into the swamp. I think we pushed him out of his bed, but we didn't get to see him. But now we're at English Hill on a night hunt. I got me, Sam, Clayton, and Clayton's dad. We're all spread out in different spots. One of us got to see something. Let's get it done tonight. Right now I'm set up in a spot where it's really thick in here. It's so thick. If anything in here, it's gonna be a close shot. It's beautiful out though. It's like 55 degrees. It's crazy in December. But we're gonna hang tight, see what happens. And we tried to figure out where the less pressure would be. Most hunters would take big chunks of land. Today we focused on this real small, I'd say 30 acres of state land that butts up to private. And there was tons of deer sign coming in, tons of droppings. Stevie's about 200 yards directly behind me, watching a flat that drops to a bottom. And I'm along a creek bed that has this really small patch of pines. And I'm on the biggest trail that went into these pines. We got today and tomorrow to get it done for gun. We've been going hard. We're down to the wire. We're gonna give it all we got. So how it was set up today, there's this creek bottom. It runs all along here. It's about 50 yards wide from one to the other. Now, all morning, I was hearing what sounded like steps over here. And then I heard branches breaking, but it sounded like it was on the other side of the swamp. Well, the creek bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pack up and I'm going to walk to Stevie to see if we can kick anything up to him. Tell me, ain't in a small world. Where I work, there's a third-party company that comes in and inspects some of our parts. he gave me permission to hunt his land. He actually has land on the same street I do, 2 hours away from where we live. Small world. But on this morning's hunt, I must have had a deer bedded by me for 2 hours. Remember, I kept hearing it sounded like walking and branches breaking. Well, at about 10 o'clock, I put my sling on, I put the GoPro on, and I walked to where I heard the sounds, and instantly a deer kicked up. I didn't see it, but I'm hoping I got the crashing on camera or the camera picked it up from the GoPro. I won't know until I edit the footage. We're gonna shut up and sit tight for the night hunt. I'm actually overlooking a real steep ravine. It's like a gully, and it's not wet down there. It's pretty dry. I'm hoping deer actually run this gully to get from one piece of the property to the other. We'll see.